All right, guys, welcome in another Saturday edition of the Fore Idiots presented by Fade U Sports. I am your host, Joey Cheese, with my buddies Chaz McLongball and Kmart. We should have Duke joining us in a little bit. For some reason, he thinks he always has to go to the gym every Saturday morning, and it's annoying. He's not even buff or losing weight.
Maybe the gym's just a weird
He's a pretty strong dude.
But yeah, without further ado, let's get into this Saturday morning slate. I know we're kind of short on time this morning. So, but real quick, Kmart, could you briefly do a recap of last week, please?
There's no point. I sunk with the Titanic last week, 0-3. I should have been following J Buff. Should have been giving out his picks because, I had 2 games late. They look like they could go with San Diego State. They came back, went up in OT. Then I'm begging Utah State to go for 2 at the end there. They don't kick it, beat them by 8. Then USC takes a giant dump in the 4th, as per usual. And I don't even remember my third play because it was that kind of weekend. But yeah, Joey, you hit hard on Clemson. And Chaz, how did you do? I forget.
1 and 2, but I hit my best bet. That was really the one that I liked the best.
Yeah. So I think Chris did really well. I think he went 2-1 on the show, but he went 5-1 on his 6-pack of poop. So he finally turned it around a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So overall, a pretty good week for the boys.
Minus me.
It's all right. We're a team here. We pick each other up. Real quick, can't go without noticing. Today is Veterans Day. So happy Veterans Day, and thank you to all those out there who served, including our good friend Jay Buff. You are the man. Yeah, just wanted to take a second to say thank you to everyone out there who listens, who did serve our country, protect our families. So thank you. Let's get into today's slate. Chaz, you want to start us off with something?
Sure. I'm actually going to roll out the game that we just talked about before. I've been kind of on the fence about it for the last couple of days, and then you were like, I kind of like it, but I don't like it enough to give it out. So I'm going to be the one that does it. I'm going to take Western Kentucky minus 4.5. I like this side. New Mexico State's overvalued. Look, they've outperformed every expectation they've had all year. I do like their quarterback. I don't even think he's the best quarterback in this game, though. So, for me, I expect this to be a relatively high-scoring affair. But I wouldn't be shocked to see a big letdown for New Mexico State, who's looked like a world beater the last few weeks. Western Kentucky actually is a bit of a football town. I don't know if you've ever been to the Hilltoppers or not, but I've spent some time there. So I actually like Western Kentucky to not only win, but I bet they win by more than a touchdown.
And you said that's Western Kentucky minus 4.5?
4.5. That's the number.
Yeah, me and Chaz talked about it a little bit earlier. That's the side I was looking at also. Couldn't quite get to the window on it. But yeah, for me, it's Western Kentucky or nothing in that spot. I think I saw a couple minus 4s out there also, but they were juiced to minus 115. So, but yeah, I agree. I think the 4.5 is fine. So, nice. Kmart, you got something for us in the early? You got anything in the early window?
Oh yeah, I got one in the early window. So going with Penn State. I think I've seen it trickle down to +4. It might still be 4.5s out there. I even saw some jackass put +5 this morning when I haven't seen a +5 all week. So that was kind of fun. I don't like, honestly, I played this on Monday. So well before, the suspension news of Harbaugh. I don't even know if I like it as much. Like, I feel like a lot of people are going to jump on it because of that. But for me, it was more of like the bigger picture looming. Oh, what's going to happen? Is anything going to happen? Is a distraction. But now that it's kind of settled, I am a little apprehensive thinking these kids might go play for their coach, but there's still has to be something missing there. end of the day, like I think Penn State is the better team. I don't think Michigan is really played anybody in their schedule yet.
That's bold.
So I mean, this is kind of when I think the schedule and the gauntlet for a lot of the Big Ten really happens, where they're, Penn State, if they win out, they're going to probably be in the playoff. So I like them here in this spot. I'm probably going to sprinkle on the money line too. But yeah, defensively, I think, they're going to slow this game up, pin their ears back, and, take it to Michigan. At the end of the day, what I said at the start, I think a lot of teams are pissed off at Michigan. Me personally, I don't give a shit. I think it's fantastic. Get ahead any chance you can get. It's just like it's funny though. Like they're not even in trouble for sign stealing because that is legal. They're in trouble for scouting in season. Like that to me is, dude, come on. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on it, though. I don't think it's a big deal, but
so I don't really have much of an opinion on this game, but I do want to go on record and state that there were definitely 5s available Monday, and there was also a rogue 5.5 available Monday. Not everyone could get those numbers, so I understand.
Nice.
Yeah, 4.5 has been the consensus all week for the most part. It's hard to get those other numbers. I just don't see Penn State pulling the upset here. Would I be shocked to see them stay within the number? Absolutely not. I agree with you in the sense that Michigan has played nobody. I also hate this Michigan team, so it's easy to root against them. So yeah, I'll be pulling for you here in the early window for sure. Chaz, that's a big game. Do you have any quick thoughts on that before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I didn't take advantage of anything early in the week. I saw everybody hop on Pitt. Like, seems like everybody I know is on Penn State. Everybody's kind of on that side. They're like, there's so many distractions on Michigan. Anytime I see a really popular narrative like that, it's so tempting for me to fade it. So I don't disagree with your assessment. I kind of see the entire point of it, but I'm like, man, I hear so much noise on that side. I was almost tempted to go the other way.
Dimes knows I'm giving out the 5 unit. Yeah, we talked about it last night. Dimes likes it too, so happy with that. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. So shout out Dimes in the chat. So I have a play at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, early window. I played Texas Tech +4 as well as +160 on the money line. I prefer this team with Morton at the helm. Kids look good. 980 yards passing, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I think he's able to air it out versus Kansas defense. An interesting thing I saw this morning, we talked about this, with the exception of obviously White, Price, and Bradley are like the 3 big dogs on the outside for Texas Tech. But this is a Texas Tech team that has 8 guys that average over 10.5 yards per reception. I couldn't help but notice that. Morton's a guy who slings it. I expect Texas Tech to score some points today. They got a 2-headed monster in the backfield with Brooks and Valdez. They're both averaging over 5 yards per carry. I expect this offense to go up and down the field on Kansas. So yeah, that's my early play in the early window. Texas Tech +4 and +160 on the money line.
Were you surprised that this wasn't like a pros versus Joes game? Because I've seen a lot of sharp action on Kansas, and I mean, to me, this screamed. I was like, oh, every sharp in the world is going to be all over Texas Tech because the public is going to be all over Kansas.
So I mean, am I surprised? No. Did I expect it to be the other way? Probably a little bit, yeah. I've seen a lot of sharp action come in on Kansas, but as we know, sharps don't always win.
Nope.
I have zero problem sticking with my handicap rather than blindly tailing the sharp side. When push comes to shove, I trust me more than I trust anybody. Texas Tech loses this game by 30. You know what? So be it. We move on to the 3 o'clock window. We pick ourselves up and move forward, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was initially like, when I looked at it first thought, I was like, Texas Tech's probably going to be the side I'm going to be on, just because even before I look into the game, like this was going to be a public hammer for Kansas.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Kansas team that's 7-2. I believe that they have overperformed and overachieved. I am not impressed with them personally, but yeah. So we'll see how it works out. All right, let's go. Anyone else got anything in the early window before we move on?
I don't have it in the early window.
No, Kmart, anything in the early window?
I mean, I'm just no, nothing else. I mean, I might get on your Texas Tech, in the live play, but I can't cap that Kansas team this year.
Yeah, you said that to us earlier. You always seem to be on the wrong side, so yeah. I would prefer you stay on the sidelines then.
Yes, sir. All right, well, fine. Then I'll take Kansas and help you out.
Perfect. That works too. Chaz, how many plays did you have in total?
I've got 2 more.
2 more. Kmart, what do you got?
I got 2 more.
2 more. All right, I only have 1 more, and it's my big 5-unit wager. But real quick, anyone want to hit on the Alabama-Kentucky game? Anyone have anything on this?
Alabama was on my long list just because I figured that's another one where I'm going to get a lot of people that are looking at that number at 10.5. Kind of a smelly line. Everybody's going to kind of want to lean that way on Kentucky. So I was like, I could almost talk about Alabama, but I just hate that. I hate watching that Alabama team. It's brutal.
So I spotted something interesting in this game, which actually almost got me to the window. So Alabama got absolutely crushed with the rushing game last weekend. I saw this morning that Alabama is 5-0 to the over, as well as 5-0 against the spread, following a game in the last 2 seasons when they gave up X number of yards rushing, which I do know was surpassed last weekend. So do what you want with that info. I couldn't quite pull the trigger on this Bama team, but I did think that was interesting when I saw that this morning.
Yeah, I mean, I lean Bama too, but if I've learned anything from Alabama this season, it's more often than not, I am going to get a way better line in game. So I will just look for that opportunity instead of laying 11 points and look for them to slow out. And everyone's like, oh, Alabama's going down. No, not so fast. They're 8-1. They're
could still get into the playoff.
They're still pretty good.
Yeah. All right, Kmart, why don't you hit us off with second play?
Why don't you shut up?
Oh, you sound like my wife.
All right, let's see. So I mentioned this on last week's pod while I was very optimistic about my USC Trojans against Washington. So my second play is going to be Utah. I got them at 9. Saw it trickle down to 8. I say make sure you get an 8.5. 8 is becoming a very key number in college football because teams down 14 late go for 2. If they don't get it, that's 8. So 8.5 is now a very good number to have in college. But yeah, I mean, either way, like I'm honestly tempted to play Utah on the money line too. I really like them in this spot. I think because of the quarterback situation, everyone is down on them, including me to start the year. But they finally got these quarterbacks playing. They're passing better. They got a pretty crazy running game too. Defensively, they're still fairly stout. I think they're going to slow up Washington. Washington, as I said last week, hadn't looked good offensively until they played a Pop Warner defense. So yeah, I mean, Utah getting 8.5, I love that play. That, I don't know, all these plays. That's why I call them my best bets, because they're all the same. I love all 3. That's why going 0-3 last week was a shock. It's like, what the fuck has that happened last? I don't think it's ever happened on this show.
Yeah, this is a game that I looked at, and I formed an opinion on both sides. So for me, it ultimately became a stay away for me. Chaz, any quick thoughts on the Utah plus 8.5?
I think they're the better team. I think Utah's a better team than Washington, to be honest. I think Washington skated by a couple times this year, whereas Utah's really only had one down week. Other than that, they've showed up to play every week. So if you give me the better team in the points, I think he's on the right side.
Fair enough. All right. Chaz, what else you got? You got another one for us?
I'm going to go for a total here. So I'm going to go with Iowa State, BYU, and I'm going to take the over 40.5. I don't normally love overs, but this Iowa State team is putting up points on the road regularly. Normally when you're looking at an over, you're more concerned about the road team being able to put up points. They have traveled week in, week out and seem to put up a decent amount of points every single solitary week. And I don't think they have a juggernaut of an offense. On the other side of the fence, BYU, they offensively look pretty good when they're at home, but they don't look so great on the road. Conveniently, they're playing at BYU. When I was blind testing myself, what do I think the over on this game should be? I would have said 48, 49, something like that. It's 40.5. So to me, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely taking the over.
It's not a spot I'd be looking at.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Which makes it gross, which makes me kind of want to play it with you. Yeah, but yeah, Kmart, any opinion on this?
No, I got no opinion. Like, it's such an obscure total. Like kind of like what Dimes just said here. Rutgers, Iowa, 27.5. Like
that game's gonna finish 6-3.
Yeah, dude, probably. Like honestly, I kind of want to hammer the under. Just because it's so low, everyone's going to hammer the over, even though it's Iowa. Oh, 14 teams can get the 14. Come on now. But yeah, I mean, I'd have to look in it. Like I haven't looked at the Iowa State game. I mean, offensively, the past few weeks, they're finally putting it down. I don't even know who they're playing. You just capped still over my head. I don't even know who their opponent is.
They've actually played some. They're playing BYU, but they've played some decent teams the last 4 or 5 weeks, and they still put up points. Man, they went on the road at Baylor, who's not great this year, but they put up some decent points against them. They put up double-digit. They put up over 20 points against Oklahoma. Like when you go down the list of all the teams that they've played, like they're on the road putting up 20, 25 points
right
every week. So if they were typically scoring at home and struggling on the road, a little more cause for pause, but I'm not at all worried about Iowa State putting up points here.
I mean, the funny thing is offensively they were struggling to start the season, and then when
know.
Oklahoma still had oh, do they have a good defense? That's when their offense got going, and that's when
Iowa State's burned me the last couple of weeks. I've been against them, and they just keep proving me wrong. I'm like, well, shit, they're going to put up points. I mean, even if they don't cover the number.
I mean, what about this with such a low total? BYU's plus 7.5 at home. Like, are they absolute dog shit? Like, for a low total and getting 7.5, like, is this not going to be a close game?
I would worry about BYU covering backdoor because I don't think they're inept offensively either. I think their defense has been very underwhelming. So, for me, that's why I was like,
thinking something like 27-17 or something.
I would go higher than that, man. I would not be shocked to see this turn into somewhat of a track meet.
Ugh, I mean, a track meet. Come on. I've seen crazier shit happen, right? But all right.
Oh man.
All right. Well, let's get at it. I got a 5-unit best bet. For the record, my first 5-unit play since Georgia in the national championship, where they steamrolled TCU. My multi-unit plays on this show are 6-1 to date. So yeah, let's get at it. I'm going to the 3:30 window Eastern Standard Time. We're going to the bounce house. I am playing UCF plus 2.5, plus 120 money line, minus 6.5 alternate spread, plus 290. This is a UCF team I fully expect to beat the fucking brakes off of Oklahoma State today. Oklahoma State just won their national championship last weekend, beating the Sooners. Go back and look. This Oklahoma State team does not perform well coming off this Oklahoma game. They are 0-6 against the spread last 6 seasons following the OU game. and 1-5 straight up in those 6. This is a UCF team that at the bounce house, they are fucking nasty. They are 37-6 straight up their last 43, including 10-2 against the spread during that run when facing a team coming off an outright W. We all know Oklahoma State beat OU last weekend, so both those trends fit. I fully expect this UCF team to score 1,000,000 fucking points today. I really do. I think Plumlee fucking destroys them. This is a team that averages 7.5 yards per play, 485 yards per game, 2,300 yards rushing. Their rushing attack is filthy. All I've heard all week is Ollie Gordon. He's fucking Heisman candidate. Pat McAfee was sucking his dick on College Game Day this morning. You know what? Pump the brakes a little bit. Not so fast. This UCF team goes up and down the field today. They score at fucking will, and I think they beat the fucking dog shit out of Oklahoma State. Two-headed monster in the backfield for UCF. Harvey and Richardson both averaging 6 yards per rush. I do not see how Oklahoma State stops them today. I really don't. Do not think they could stop UCF. I wouldn't be shocked to see UCF score on every fucking possession today. How about that?
Can I interject for 1 second?
Absolutely can.
So, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, it was obviously targeted around UCF, but how do they defend the run?
So they're dead last in the Big 12. Yeah. Obviously, I know that. I'm fully
out of
aware.
130, they're 127th, giving up.
I'm fully aware of it. Oklahoma State does not score like this UCF team does. I'm telling you right now. I don't see how Oklahoma State stops UCF. UCF is over 50% on third down. I think they go up and down this field. Don't see them not scoring today. Feel free to play Oklahoma State though. My text messages are open.
No, I am not. I just wanted to give one piece because they're saying they're going to run up, blah blah blah. But from the other side, Oklahoma State. I mean, that's all they do is run. So,
for sure, yeah. I mean, would I be shocked to see Oklahoma State score 28 points today? No, absolutely not. I'd be shocked if UCF stays under 35.
I watched the game that they played against Oklahoma start to finish, and that was the first game Plumlee was back. And I'll say one thing: they look like a completely different team.
Say this,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great spot for them. I've had this spot circled since Sunday night. You guys already obviously knew I hammered this on Monday morning. Sitting here, I'm waiting all week. All week, I'm waiting for this line to go to 3, thinking I'm going to get a bad fucking line at 2.5. Line freeze at 2.5, where all I've seen is Oklahoma State money and tickets. I haven't seen it. I've seen one other person on Twitter come in with UCF. I have seen 7 or 8 Oklahoma State tickets. The spreads and differentials are a little different. I'm seeing mostly Oklahoma State money, Oklahoma State tickets everywhere. Like I said, the line freeze at 2.5 is a dead giveaway to me. I expect UCF to win this game convincingly.
I agree. 100% agreement from my perspective.
Yep. So, all right, what else you guys got? And just for the record, I have to bail in a couple minutes. I have things I have to attend to with my children. So if I'm not here for the conclusion of it, peace out, boys. Love y'all. But Kmart, where are you going with your third pick?
So my third bet. I mean, I thought Duke would be here by now. A little Pac-12 after dark in Eugene, Oregon. So I took this on Monday. I still recommend where the number is now because USC's gone over 17 out of 18 games. Until that happens, I'm just gonna start playing the over. I think a lot of people are thinking, they're gonna, get up today. They finally fired Grinch, blah blah blah. Cool, new system. That sounds like it's gonna go very well. Offensively, I mean, Oregon obviously has a very not a very good defense, but a better defense, than they've had in the past. I honestly don't even know if USC is going to cover this game. I'm expecting this total to go into the 80s, but I'm even tempted to lay it with Oregon. But I like the total here going over. I have 73.5. I still recommend at 77. It's only 11 touchdowns. These teams are just going to be airing it out. I know, dude. My dad did this last week, and I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And then at halftime, I was like, I guess I should have jumped on this shit with you. So yeah, we were talking at the game, and once the line came out, I'm like, yeah, we might as well jump on it. And like I said, 17 out of 18. At what point does it regress? I don't know if it's going to happen until next year.
Yeah, I can't argue with you. I mean, if I'm taking a side, I have to take the over. It's just such a big number. 11 touchdowns. That's comical. But I don't know. I guess the thing when I see a line like this, it's like, okay, so we're betting against like 3 stops. Like, are there going to be 3 stops in this game? Maybe not.
Yeah, I know. I mean, last week, apart from the fourth quarter, the only punt was blocked. Like, it was ridiculous. And it's probably going to be something the same because, like, if Oregon gets out 14, SC's going to be going for it on 4th down, even in the second quarter.
I can't take USC seriously. I mean, I've never seen a team more allergic to defense in my life.
Yeah, no, I know. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Like I don't think Dimes. And the funny thing is, like, Dimes is here saying, but early in the year, I was avoiding the Pac-12. Now all of a sudden, it is funny, but it's just, I think the way the schedule is coming out. I honestly watch so much Big Ten and Pac-12 football. Like, I don't know. I don't even really enjoy watching the SEC. It's just like the same shit. Like, I don't know. If it's Alabama, kind of avoid it. I like watching Ole Miss just because of Kiffin. I mean, we could touch on that real quick. Kiffin's comments and what you think about it.
I have been screaming for my Dallas Cowboys to hire Lane Kiffin for like years at this point in time. They're the most uncreative play calling assholes I've ever seen in my life. Can we please get somebody who can design a play to call plays, please?
Yeah, like honestly, I understand mental health is like a big issue right now, but I agree with what he said. Like, in what world do you live in? Do you not need to check it? Like, I couldn't have a mental illness case on Monday and not report to work for 2 weeks. I'd be fired. I can't then come back and be like, oh, look, I was in the psych ward. Like, you can't. Like, what are you doing? You got to communicate. So, like, to me, I agree with him. Like, he was clearly pissed. Like, should he have, been cursing at the kid? Probably not, but it's football. Another relationship. Like, I don't know. I thought it was great. Like, personally, I was there kind of when listening to it. Like, good for you, Lane. Like, not a little bitch after all.
Football, tough people.
Yeah. But I mean, who knows? Like, if this turns into something, they might have to say bye-bye, Lane, and then that's your door opening for your Cowgirls.
Please, for the love of God.
But yeah, I don't know. I thought Duke was going to show up here.
No, I don't have any poop in my life. I've only got one more pick, and I got no Duke.
No poop. Let's see. Hey, Dimes, you want to come on and give a play? You're still in the chat. I sent you the link if you want to jump on.
That's all right. I got one more, and if we don't get somebody by the end, then we'll.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you got one more.
I got one more. It's my best bet for the week. It's kind of, I don't know if it's sharp or square, to be honest. I looked at the line, and I keep getting a lot of feedback that everybody's going to be on Mizzou. I'm going the other way. I'm taking Tennessee -2.5. I look at the matchup just from a football handicap standpoint. I think it's a bad matchup for Mizzou. Mizzou is not great at stopping the run. Tennessee's top 10 in the country at running the football. I think they're going to have a hard time getting them off the field. And on top of it, if you're going to stop Mizzou, you're going to need a pass rush because they love to air it out. You have to get home to the quarterback. Tennessee, if you've watched them the last few weeks, has actually done that pretty well. They're giving up a fair amount of points, but it's not because they're not getting home with the pass rush. So to me, I think this is kind of a weird spot where I don't normally love road chalk, especially in a division like this, but I kind of think this is exception to the rule.
Yeah, no, and honestly, I was looking at this play. I kind of jumped on my phone when I woke up, still laying in bed. Like, maybe you're really sharp before you get outside noise in. And for some reason, my eye went to this game, and I instantly thought about the college basketball game last night, Texas A&M, Ohio State. A lot of guys on Ohio State.
Yeah.
But even in our text, I like right before Dimes came out with A&M. I was even saying, it was funny. I was looking at this game, BYU, Wisconsin, and this was the one game where I was like, no, I think Texas A&M is the side here. There's
kind of a weird rule too. Like there was a team back in the NFL, like in 2014 with the Seahawks, that if you looked, every team that played the Seahawks the next week, they were terrible. And it's because the Seahawks beat the shit out of them. And I kind of think Georgia, being a big physical football team, might be the same way.
We got Duke. Thank God, just in time. I was about to give out, I think, his best bet, but let's get him in here.
The Poop Master.
Fade you.
Fresh off the squat rack.
Let's go.
No problem, Dimes. We'll get you on next time.
What's
All
up?
right. All right, Mr. Duke. Did you have a good workout? Did you get a new PR in your bench, in your power lifts?
Kind of a cardio Saturday, so a lot of movement and shit.
That sounds fucking awful.
Wait. Yeah, try to get a sweat, but it's beautiful, cool morning. Brisk as can be.
Yeah, it is. That's for sure. So you want to give out your best bet here? I'm assuming it's the one you texted in the group.
You gotta have something that smells, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it smells
pretty disgusting. You gotta love that. I checked this morning. It's just, just like our UCF with cheese is just locked in with that line freeze. This one too, at 2 all week. I just saw 1.5, maybe even 60-70% of the tickets. NC State looking good, just beat Miami, just beat Clemson, who just beat fucking Notre Dame. How can they not beat this Wake team, which I think has like a 4-5 record or something, shittier record, by more than 1.5, right, boys? Give me the fucking Demon Deacon Cox.
Or like the Seaman Deacons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Man, no, that's great. Any you got any rapid fire poop? Have you confirmed your 6-pack of poop? Can you give out 2 more of them?
Yeah, I mean, I know obviously, UCF is going to be in there. I'm sure I'll throw Texas Tech in there. And then there was like another one I had in my list yesterday. I was like, that has to go in there. Probably Cincinnati. Cincinnati's at Houston. It's like a 2 or something like that. I don't know.
I looked at that game and went.
I know. It's one where it's like, ooh, gross.
Oh, nothing about that sounds fun.
Just a big pile of shit.
Oh,
but you love to see Dana Holgerson all pissed on the side of the sidelines when his player fucks up. What the fuck? And then they fucking lose and shit. Settle down, Dana.
So it like I'm gonna go back just to I don't know piss off Dimes here a little bit, talk more Pac-12, but because of what you said there, it reminded me of what Oregon's coach said a couple days ago, that USC soft. Kind of agree with them. Not much for bulletin board material, but does that have anything to do with this 16 points? It just seems like it does seem like a lot. And Chris, like I don't know, like I gave out the USC over, blah blah blah. But, I was even saying I lean Oregon, but like that is in the back of my head. Like, is that bulletin board? I mean, 16 points, SC can backdoor that.
Yeah.
Like, but it's like, to me, like where my head goes is I have seen way better USC teams go into a way shittier Eugene and get blown out. And I think they're just going to want to pour it on.
Yeah.
Which is why I love the over.
Tell everyone that you pushed out on your 3-unit whale on the over and backed out.
I mean, half of it was going to be my dad's. Like, I don't know. I can still call you up and say, hey, put it on. I'm just going to kind of see how the rest of the day goes.
He did it. He's like, hey,
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. I was just like, if I would have seen that, I would have said, just keep it. I was just trying to make it simple. But yeah.
Fine. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Chase? I mean, I lean Oregon too, just because, they need to look as good as they can, right, to try to get in that last four. They put it on. Not that putting it on USC is going to be that big of a deal, because fuck, Washington put it on them. Arizona
Cal put up 50.
They could have beat them. Yeah, Cal put up 49. I mean, but yeah, like you said, I mean, they're down fucking 21. They can go score garbage and get in that back door. So
that's my real concern with it. It's not that I don't think Oregon will lead by more than 16 at one point in time. I absolutely think they will. I mean, I don't think USC could stop me and you guys playing catch. I really don't. They couldn't fucking play defense against anybody. But it doesn't mean they can't score. And if Oregon's up, even if they get up 28, man, like, dude, USC can score quick. And if they're playing prevent defense, they're going to march up and down the field. So if I'm going to play that game, I'd rather do it the way Kyle's doing it. I'd rather play the total.
Yeah. I mean, like, Oregon's defense is legit, so I don't think that SC is going to have as much of a cakewalk as they were scoring against like Washington or Cal or Arizona. I think Oregon's D is
right.
Yeah,
exactly what I was saying too.
I almost worry that they're going to get up a bunch by the middle to late third quarter. And the problem is, if you've got an entire quarter left, even if you're up something crazy like 35, it's like, okay, except they could literally just go into prevent mode and stop trying to run the score up and run the football. And USC
against Colorado.
Yeah. Like, I just, it's too big of a number for me to not worry about the back door with a really good offensive-minded team.
Yeah. But yeah, before we get off here, Dimes posted his 2-unit play he just locked in. So earlier you probably saw us start. So God, I gotta find it. This is probably the most active this chat has ever been.
Love it.
But we're going over. Chase had given out the over in the Iowa State game. Here it is. And then Dimes came with Rutgers Iowa total is 27.5. So we had a good laugh on that. But he just gave out Rutgers team total under 13.5. So, I mean, it definitely correlates. Like, it definitely makes me want to play both. Because I don't know how many times Rutgers have scored 13 in a game, let alone against Iowa. Like, unless their offense is just going to, silver platter. Hey, here's a touchdown.
Can someone explain me how there hasn't been a case study on how Iowa holds every opponent under 2 touchdowns, and yet nobody's like, we should copy Iowa's defense?
Like, dude, it's probably like St. John Bosco. Like, I don't know if they have that much talent as much as coaching. Like, they just put them in the spots possible.
So copy it.
Don't talk about Bosco
egos.
like that.
I mean, look at SC and Grinch. Like, look at what Grinch was. It like people getting away with their own ego. Like, I mean, that's mankind's like biggest destruction is themselves.
Was he kidding, or is that total actually 27.5?
No, yeah, it's 27.5.
Holy fuck, that's some 19 fucking 40s total shit.
Yeah, like that's crazy. But yeah, anybody got anything else before we get out of here? Go drink some coffee, college game day, get ready for, man, it's 9 a.m. games. There's a lot of good shit going on.
Yeah.
Are we about to watch all of the picks on game day and then snap call anything that they have consensus on?
Right.
I feel like that's what we're about to do.
I mean, that's what happened on Sunday Night Football when all those fucks were on the Bengals. I added on the Bills and about died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it? Did we hear? Is Penn State a trendy dog or is it a sharp dog or?
Everybody.
I think it's a trendy dog.
I've seen a lot of sharps on that side. That's why I was telling Kmart. I know that's one of his picks. I was like, man, I've been watching. I have yet to see somebody on Michigan.
Yeah,
So I'm like, I kind of want to be on them.
Did Kmart give out Penn State?
Yeah,
I did. Yeah, +4.5.
Nittany
So,
Cog.
so Dimes is giving me shit for my coffee. She's like, "Step your game up." So last weekend, I go and get
Yeah,
some
put some
champagne,
Baileys in
making
it.
mimosas during the Clemson game, and I get buzzed. And Costco's like a mile away, so I go to Costco and spend like $400. So yeah, I mean, maybe I'll have some mimosas, but
before you log us off, we're getting shit from Buff over here because he put his plays in the chat and you just skipped right over them.
that's not true. Pay attention. I literally had this up for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, he put them up.
But yeah, so we got J Buff. But yeah, I didn't mention them. So I mean, J Buff, 4 of his best plays, and the the man is on fire. We shouted out to him earlier on the show at the start of the show. So hey, you didn't hear it from me, but happy Veterans Day, and all 4 of these could smack. We got App State, Miami, G Tech, Mississippi State. So
Georgia Tech, man, I was looking at that side too. So I may have to get to the window on that one.
Yeah, we might have to. I mean, the guy's fucking hot. I mean, I don't. I'm just afraid if I jump on, you're gonna go 0-4, and then it's
gonna mush everybody.
Yeah. I'm not big on superstitions, but I'm not big, like, for whatever reason. Once I start posting plays, I suck, and then once I start following somebody who's really good, they don't do as good. So I'm kind of like
Buff is following.
Kind of like Cheese. Maybe I should just trust myself. Anywho, all right. Well, thanks everybody. I think this is one of the biggest audiences we've had. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. Hope you don't fade us. I think we're gonna have a good day today. But if you do, good luck. Dimes just gave me a new name, Mimosa Takashi. I'm gonna have to look up. I have no idea what's happening here, but I mean, hopefully it's a compliment. But yeah, best of luck, everybody. Give Dimes a follow. He lost his one big play last night, but I mean, I feel like everything else hit. It was kind of crazy just watching bang, 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 and I'm like, fuck, why didn't I just follow all his shit tonight?
Bang.
But yeah, no, it was, guys turning it around too. So yeah, good luck, everybody. Have fun. Don't be an idiot and be a degenerate like me.
Be a degenerate.
That's what we do.
Hey, Chris, what happens when you bet on poop?
You might have the under in SMU 65, and they score 66 with a minute left. It's okay. Don't be afraid. Hammer poop.